As I'm keeping abreast of things that are happening in the world around us, today I want to dive into some important updates that could affect our household shopping habits. Stirring beneath the surface of the global marketplace, things like tariffs sound like an abstract policy, but the effects of them are real. They can lead to price hikes, back orders, and sometimes long-term shortages. As homemakers, we don't just create meals and folded laundry. We create stability in our homes. Rising tariffs on goods from China, supply chain disruptions, and the cost of everyday items creeping up in both Canada and the US. But if you're a homemaker, these aren't just news stories. These are quiet signals. We feel it first in our grocery bills, or in that missing item on the pharmacy shelf, or in the quiet realization that toothpaste and duct tape cost more than it did last season. And as new trade tensions unfold and tariffs take effect, we are going to see price hikes on a number of everyday items that we use. Now, I want to make it clear I'm not sounding the alarm. I'm not a doomsday prepper, but I am a big believer in preparing for things like laundry day, cold season, maybe a winter power outage, and definitely dinner. This is not panic buying out of fear. We're simply staying ahead like homemakers have always done through the generations. So now let's walk through some of the most commonly used everyday household items that could be impacted. The first thing we'll start with is certain medications. Pain relievers like ibuprofen, acetaminophen, cold medication, children's fever reducer, allergy medication. These are all little miracles that we tend to rely on. If tariffs or supply chain disruptions hit pharmaceutical products, we could see price increases on just the most basic pills. For Canadian homemakers, this may be less immediate, but a lot of American households are already seeing increases in prices. And once back to school cold season starts, we could see some very strained supply issues. So a great stocking suggestion could be to have a 3 to 6 month supply of the meds that you use regularly, especially if someone has allergies or seasonal needs. Next is light bulbs. Yes, even those humble little LED lights that brighten up your cozy corners are made in China or have Chinese components. Certainly in Canada, the tariffs on industrial metals could nudge up the price on the inner workings of the components of these bulbs. And in the US, because the tariffs are on the finished product, it will nudge up the price at the checkout. So it might be a good idea to have a few extra boxes of your most used light bulbs on hand, especially the ones that you would use for appliances, your vanity, or a chandelier. The next category is vitamins, whether it's your daily multivitamin or melatonin for sleep or elderberry syrup for immune support. The thing is, most of the ingredients for these vitamins are sourced overseas. The packaging might be local, but the contents are not. Now, during the pandemic, we all remember how quickly shelves emptied. And items like this are not only subject to tariffs, but they're extremely sensitive to supply chain disruptions. So it might be a good idea to have a 3 to 6 month supply of the vitamins that you use regularly. Sewing supplies. Sewing is coming back, and it's about time. Whether you mend socks or sew dresses, chances are that you've bought needles, thread, scissors, bobbins, fabric that all came from overseas. Even small items like Velcro, elastic, and zippers are all imported. And while these things don't take up much space, they are invaluable when something breaks, tears, or needs to be reused for some other purpose. So it might be a good idea to create a little repair kit with your most used items. Think buttons, thread, elastic, maybe an extra pair of shears, or if you quilt or sew, pick up some extra fabric that you use often. The next category is clothing and shoes. That comfy sweatshirt, your kids' running shoes, or your rain boots, yes, all likely imported. If tariffs continue to rise, prices will go up. That same item could cost $15 more just because of where it's made. So maybe make a short list of upcoming seasonal needs, things like winter coats for growing kids or a pair of winter boots that you might need, extra socks, and maybe consider buying those things ahead. Also, packing tape, duct tape, and other adhesives. Surprisingly, even simple adhesives contain petroleum-based products that are sourced overseas. All different kinds of tapes, glues, and even school glue can be affected by trade disruptions. So having an extra roll or two of tape on hand is always a good idea, especially if you homeschool, send care packages, or do crafts. Now, toothpaste is one of those things we never want to run out of. And while most of the major brands are made in North America, certain things like the flavoring agents, certain compounds, and the packaging are imported. The same goes for rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and different disinfectants. A lot of these essentials were hard to find during the pandemic, and I think that's a lesson worth remembering. So tuck away an extra bottle of toothpaste, some dental floss, and some rubbing alcohol and other disinfectants. Now this next one I was actually surprised to find out, but a lot of the spices and seasonings that we use regularly, things like cinnamon, cloves, turmeric, and cumin, are all grown overseas. Many of them are packaged and processed in China before they arrive on our shelves. If prices go up due to shipping costs or supply disruptions, even a jar of paprika could get pricey. So have a peek inside your spice cupboard and look at maybe the top 10 spices that you use and consider replenishing them, especially if you cook from scratch. Next, have a look through your supply of fasteners, things like nails, screws, wing nuts, etc. Something like a screw may seem insignificant, but when you're assembling a shelf or fixing a loose chair, it's everything. Most fasteners sold in big box stores are imported, and China is the biggest supplier. And in Canada, steel and aluminum are also facing tariffs, so the price of these items are likely to go higher. So building a basic home hardware kit is wise. You'll thank yourself when a wobbly drawer front comes off or something needs bracing. Now, I want to reiterate, you don't need to hoard or panic. Just take a slow, steady inventory and look at the things that your home relies on every week. Just ask yourself, what do you use on a daily basis? Or what runs out suddenly and causes frustration? What would you really miss if it doubled in price? It's a good idea to take $10 or $20 every week and build yourself a nice little peaceful supply shelf and pantry. A stock pantry, a spare tube of toothpaste, and an extra spool of thread. These are not just supplies, they're symbols of care. Over time, you'll create a cushion that protects your household from surprises. It's about being the kind of homemaker that creates peace in the pantry, security in the medicine cabinet, and calm in the cluttered corners of everyday life. At the end of the day, as homemaker, our jobs is to create a stable, nurturing environment for our home and our families. And by staying informed, we can navigate through changes with confidence and grace. If you found this video helpful, share it with fellow homemakers, and together we can support each other and ensure that our homes remain resilient. I want to thank you so much for choosing to spend a bit of your day with me. Many blessings to you and your families. Take care, and we'll catch you in the next one.